Thanks for listening to FYI Stillwater, where you will hear information about your local government you didn't know you need to know, straight from the source. Be sure to check out other news and information from the City of Stillwater at stillwater.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter. Hi, I'm your host, Sherry Fletcher, Director of Marketing and Civic Engagement. Today, my co-host is Assistant City Manager Paula Dennison. Hey, Paula.
How you doing, Sherry?
I'm good.
Good. Me too.
We've had a busy week.
Yes, we have. I'm glad it's Thursday afternoon.
Yeah. Every week is busy.
Every week is busy here lately, yes. And that's excluding COVID.
Oh, yeah. So COVID is like our new permanent project?
Yeah, it is.
Since it's been
never ending.
It's been going on for a while.
Yes, it is.
But today, our guest is Kelley Hitch, Water Utilities Supervisor. He's a first-time guest.
Yay, Kelley!
All right, let's start off with some basic facts.
Okay, great. Thank you. So our Water Utilities Department does a lot of stuff, and I know we've had Thomas Novotny
Yeah, he was here last week. He
Yeah.
explained a lot about water distribution, and Kelley's in that department too.
Yes, he is. So with Kelley as a supervisor, there's a lot of interaction with what comes out of the water treatment plant that Thomas is over. But the main priority for Water Utilities Department is being responsible for providing safe, reliable drinking water to the City of Stillwater, our customers, which are inside city limits and some outside city limits. But we also have surrounding rural water districts, those that the city owns, that we're responsible for providing the safe and reliable water to. But we also sell water to other rural water districts.
It's a busy department.
It's a very busy department. Plus, that's just the water part. The water utilities also has the pre-treatment or the proper treatment and the return of all of the wastewater that goes through our wastewater treatment plant and all of the distribution and collection system for
So
it.
it's just a big loopy thing. The water comes in and the water goes out eventually.
Eventually, yes. Discharged actually back into natural waterways.
Just the way it came to us.
Just the way it came to us, exactly. But all of the in-between, there's a lot of compliance that the city is responsible for. So in Kelley's role in that, he does a lot of the hydrant flushing. So we have had some videos about the hydrant flushing up on the website recently. And that is periodic flushing so that we can maintain that quality of water that not only we expect, our customers expect, but the regulatory authorities at the state level also expect from us.
It's way more complicated than just turning the tap on.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. And aren't we grateful that we can turn the tap on and something clean and safe comes out?
Awesome. Yes. So we're going to get into this interview, and we're going to be asking Kelley. He's a longtime city employee. He's going to tell us kind of what he does for the city. And also we're going to discuss what makes a good customer service and why it really matters to the public on the whole. So welcome, Kelley. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, thanks for having me.
All right. Like Paula was saying, you helped us with a public service announcement recently to show what the hydrant flushing program was at. So was that your first time to do a public service announcement?
Yes, it was.
Was it what you expected?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It was kind of interesting to see the other side of it.
Right.
I've seen the public service announcements, but I've not ever seen one videoed and things
Yeah,
that go on
'cause-
with that. It was kind of interesting to see the other side of that.
Yeah, because you can see how it got built and why it looks the way it does.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that's interesting too. So I know that you have listened to one of our podcasts, and you know that we always start with a lightning round, and so we're going to ask you some random but revealing questions. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay, Paula.
Okay, so Kelley had sent in his questions, but I didn't get them before this recording.
Oh, you're just looking for an excuse.
I am.
She always has different questions. So Kelley doesn't know what's coming.
That's right, and that's why I like doing this. So, Kelley, first question. If aliens were beamed down to Earth, would you go hang out with them?
Hang out, maybe. Go with them somewhere else. No, I like where I'm at. I like the country we live in. I like where we are. Don't think I would ever leave, but you know, it would be interesting to see them and figure
You're
out. You're
open-minded, right?
You might entertain them.
Somewhat, anyway.
Entertain them a little bit.
He's welcome.
Okay.
Show
Show him
Earth,
around town.
humanity. Yeah. Okay, so speaking of entertainment, what is your favorite song to sing? Because you
man.
are a singer.
Yeah,
Oh, he
yeah.
is a
I've been
singer.
known to sing a little. Wow, that's tough. I go back to church hymns are probably my favorite things to sing. Maybe an old church hymn, "Victory in Jesus," is one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Maybe you two could duet. I cannot join in because I sound like a screeching cat.
I was going to ask him to demonstrate for
I
us.
think we should. Between the two of you. Little harmony. Yep.
So are you a baritone, bass, tenor?
I am a bass. I am a bass singer. With the COVID, I've sing with a couple of different groups here in town, and with the COVID, we've had a lot of issues trying to get people together and doing it. So
Oh,
we're
yeah, I
kind
bet
of
so.
we're kind of not really working a whole lot right now on it, but I do sing bass.
Yeah. Well, you'll have to give us a demonstration one of these days.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. You've been at the city for a while. How many years?
I'm 31 years.
31 years. That is a very long time. So, can you kind of walk me through your career path and how did you get to 31 years?
You know, I came to the city. I saw it as a stepping stone. I was fairly young, didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, and I was looking for a full-time job because I wanted to be married and raise a family, and I felt like I needed a full-time job before I would do
Right.
that. I got here. It was a good group of people.
So did you start in the water
I
utilities?
actually did.
You
I've
actually
been in the
did?
water department the whole time.
Wow.
I actually started off setting up road warning signs for water department jobs. Then I moved into just a guy down at the bottom of the ditch digging up water lines and tapping water mains for water meters, and eventually became a crew leader in the meter set crew.
Uh-huh.
Spent some time there setting water meters for new residents and new businesses around town. From there, the boss at the time said, "You knew where all the new water lines are, and we need a line locator." So I spent a few years doing line locate work. That was interesting to me. It showed me. I guess it was easy for me to do because I could check off a box every day, and now I'm a box checker. I want to feel like I've got something accomplished. So that worked well for me for a while. Eventually, I felt like I probably ought to move on and try to be the leader I felt like I should be. And moved into a crew leader job. I was taking care of a crew, and eventually a couple of crews, and then eventually all the crews.
Yeah.
As I moved into the
Well,
supervisor
31
job.
years, you know.
It's been a while, and I like what I do. I like the people I work with. That's what makes what I do gratifying. I never in the beginning thought it would matter to me that our customers had good water, and that we made all the regulations and all the important stuff that we have to be compliant. Never thought that would matter. And sometime along the line, I went, this makes a difference. Makes a difference for our citizens and our community. So it made a difference for me. It made it easy for me once that clicked to do my job daily and to try to make sure I got those that work for me see that same point of view and do the same things that I've been doing for years.
So what do you do on a daily basis? What does a day in the life of Kelley Hitch look like?
Usually starts off with email, then crew assignments, then more email.
More email.
Then answering questions for crews or customers. Lots
You
of
got lots of customers.
lots of customer calls and questions. Take care of a lot of those during the day, and more email and
More email.
follow,
theme here.
following up on the crews, what they're doing, make sure they're doing things the right way.
So they're still the ones putting in the meters and digging up the water lines.
That's
and
correct.
all the stuff that you've been doing for 31 years. Now
Yeah.
you're seeing it from you're making the assignments as opposed to actually going out and doing the work.
Yeah, that's correct.
Well, and there's some other components that you're involved in, like ordering the parts when there's a water line break, or when a meter has to be set, and scheduling and all of that. So it's not just the crew assignment that you're involved in, but every little component of what they're going out there doing.
Well as some review of new construction, as well as new construction standards, as Paula could contest to.
We've been doing it for hours the last couple of days. That's why Kelley is referencing it.
Yeah.
Because I keep saying on our Zoom call, "Hey Kelley, what's the answer to this?"
So you help make sure that the new houses have water.
Yeah.
I mean,
We do the shutdown stuff for them to make connections for new additions to the existing system. We work on all those. We make sure that all the valves in the town work, all the fire hydrants work, all the meters are being installed properly, the right direction, the right way. And that
so last week, Thomas walked us through kind of getting the water from Call Lake, all the way to the tap. So you're the one making sure that everybody's connected to all of those lines and that they have, abundant and clean water.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thomas and his crew make sure that they have that it's made properly and it's like it's supposed to be. It gets out to those towers and pump stations, and then my guys make sure they get to the tap and to the house. Make sure that when the customer turns that tap on, that they have the water they need, it's the right pressure, and it's the right quality for what they need it for.
One of the things too, Sherry, if you can't tell, Kelley is very engaging when he talks. So, you had mentioned customer service, and we have the standards of excellence that a group of the city employees put together for all city employees. And with Kelley and all of the customers that he is encountering on a daily basis, whether it's his coworkers or his employer or the citizen water customer who is using the water and expecting that, I think he's a really good one to talk about these standards that we have and what customer service means to him.
So if you're not familiar with the standards of excellence that the City of Stillwater has adopted, I'm going to read a sentence to you. The City of Stillwater is responsible for providing responsive, high-quality, and efficient municipal services to enhance the community's quality of life. We do this by being connected, performance-driven, proud, respectful, responsive, and trustworthy. So those are the traits that we expect all of our employees to showcase, not only to one another, as you said, but also to our citizens. And so Kelley deals with citizens. So let's talk a little bit about what is customer service, why it's important, and why it's important to you to make sure you do it well.
Lots of times we're the first contact that a customer has with the city, because not only when something goes wrong, but when there's things going on, lots of times me or the guys that work under me are the first person that the customer's going to see. So that's why customer service is so important.
Like if they don't have water, they turn the tap on and it doesn't come on, or if
lots of reasons. If they don't have water, if we've been out and fixed a water leak and dug up their front yard.
Oh yeah.
And they didn't know it was there. They came home from work and there's a big mud hole in their yard. It happens from time to time. That customer service tells the people that we were here. We were doing our jobs. We apologize for the mess. But if we don't handle those situations correctly, then they escalate quickly.
Oh yeah.
So we expect our guys to be able to speak to a customer. To have the right attitude no matter what, even when people get frustrated, because it happens
is
sometimes.
Frustrating.
Yeah, it does happen sometimes. And to try to talk with the customers in a fashion that is positive, so that when we're done, they feel like things are going to be handled and taken care of.
Because they are.
Yeah. Eventually, sometimes some things take longer than others, but eventually they're all going to be as close to back to normal as we can make them.
He hit on something I want to go a little further on too, is our customers have the expectation that we provide the water to them.
Right.
When the tap turns on. But there's also the expectation that our customers have, as do each one of us, that we are doing the best job we possibly can for them in providing that. So he mentioned a mess. It sometimes happens when you show up at the end of your work day and you've had a rough work day or not, and there's this pile of dirt sitting beside your driveway because the city has been out there and done something. Oh my, what has happened? Get the phone call. It's the personalities like Kelley's and his crews and his teams that he's leading that have that We'll talk you through it. We'll explain what's happening. It's not just we were out there and we did this work, so don't worry about it.
Right.
Here's what we're going to do to fix it. Here's what we're going to do to take care of it. We hope you will be satisfied. If not, and I think that's where the extra mile goes from Kelley and his folks, because this is a daily occurrence and encounter with them, and it speaks volumes for what is the reputation of the city in going out there and doing work and saying they're going to do something, take care of it, and then the follow through.
Right, because the city is funded by sales tax and the rates that they pay for their utilities. So this is service that they've paid for already.
Yeah.
So having good customer service is kind of expected because I'm actually paying for this in
Yeah, the
one way or the
ratepayers,
other.
they expect us to do the things we're supposed to do and to treat them the way that they feel like they need to be treated.
So you said you've worked for the city for 31 years in the water department. So learning this customer service over the years, has it evolved for you?
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't say a date because
It's an
I'll be
evolution.
honest. I'll be honest. After this many years, some of them kind of run together.
It doesn't take 31, Kelley.
But customer service is the same way with that. You've got to. There's a point where you go, I can't just push them off.
Yeah.
Or send them to your supervisor. There's a point where you go, I can handle this, and the supervisor doesn't have to worry about it, and I'll tell him about it when I get back to the shop, and so he knows what's going on.
Right.
But that's the evolution. You start off maybe calling the supervisor every time, and then you go, I've heard him talk to people and explain things. I can do this, and that's how it evolved for me. A matter of taking responsibility not only for me but for the guys that work under me for what they do.
I do have a question. This is a little bit different. Why, if a citizen walked up to you and said, Kelley, why should I care about where our water comes from, how clean it is as it goes through the system, and where it goes? What would you tell them?
Because it all has to do with the safety of you and your family. If it's not done correctly, if it's not sent through the system in the right way, if it's not treated properly, it can make your family sick. The quality issue there is the big thing. People may not realize when we finish with clear water, it's better than it could be any other way. If you got it from a water well, and it wouldn't be as clear and as high quality as what we put out at the plant. And on the other end of that, once it's gone through the wastewater treatment plant and we're putting it back in the stream downstream, it's as good a quality as it was when we put it in the system for you to drink.
Wow.
So
So we're good stewards?
have to be a good steward.
And
Yeah.
we're looking to take care of our neighbors downstream.
Right.
Yeah, good point.
If you really think about it, water and wastewater systems are just recycling water as it goes down the chain. The water that we pull out of the river goes through our plant, through our system, through our wastewater plant, goes back into the river again.
Yeah, I think a lot of people may not put that all together. It's like the water comes and we don't get rid of it.
No.
I mean, it's not discarded somewhere. It's cleaned up and used again.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah, it is.
So awesome.
Yep.
So is there anything I didn't ask you that you would like to share with us?
Wow, I don't know that I'm forward thinking enough to ask enough.
Well, you have busy days and you just take care of everybody.
That's what I'm paid for, to make sure we get things done and that we do things the proper way, and that's what my job is.
Awesome. That is reassuring when you think about it, that there's so many people on our staff that have that attitude.
And have the longevity.
Yes.
I think having the knowledge of our system, the way it functions, the way it operates, what the expectations and requirements are, and the knowledge of how to make it happen out there for our customers. That's such an invaluable piece of this organization as well.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being our guest today.
Thank you.
So if we invited you back, would you come?
Sure.
Sure. You have to sing for your supper the next time.
Okay, well, give me a heads up so I have something prepared.
All right.
We have a commitment.
It's going to be a duet because Paula has a beautiful voice too. I'm telling you. So, well, thanks, Kelley,
Thank you
and
very
we'll
much.
see you next time. So let's go go to the mailbox. So every week we receive questions from Facebook, Twitter, email, sometimes even a phone call. So our first question this week, Paula, is how do I turn my water off to do a home repair?
Oh, that's a really good question.
And it happens quite a bit.
It does. And you know what? This may be a really good video that we could do.
We have one.
See? There you
I've
go.
got a public service announcement setting ready to go.
Good. Well, as soon as I give the answer, then we can get that video out.
We'll
if
attach
we need
it.
To. Okay.
Yeah, we can attach it to the podcast. All right.
So, really good question, Sherry. So, first, if you have a shut-off valve on your side of the meter, not on the street side of the meter, but on your house or your business side of the meter, you or your plumber can use that to shut off your water. However, if you don't have that shut-off valve, then the city can be contacted, and we can go out there and shut off the meter for you. You can contact the city at 405-533-8048.
What if it's after hours?
So we do have after-hours calls. Typically, that happens if it's in an emergency situation. To where you need to make that after-hours call.
Like my garage is flooding.
Yes. You can also contact a plumber if it's after hours, and they can go out there and they can take care of it. One of the things in an emergency situation, be sure the next day you or your plumber contact the city about getting a permit if any work has been done. Okay.
That is good advice.
I do have one more piece of that. If you do not have the customer side shut-off valve on your side of the meter, you call the city at that same number, 405-533-8048. You make an appointment. The city will go out there and install one at no charge to you.
If you don't have one.
If you do not have one, yes. And we would encourage you to do that.
Yeah, that would probably be very helpful.
Yes.
All right, well, we're just going to continue the water theme today all
let's
the way
do it.
through. Question number 2, how often should I water my lawn, and are there any water restrictions if I want to water it a lot?
So right now, the city does not have any restrictions on water usage. If you do like a really lush green, which surprisingly this summer, lawns have been pretty lush and green.
Yeah, they have.
Even this week we had quite a bit of rain.
Yeah.
So you probably didn't need to water as much this summer, but if you do like those really plush, lush green lawns, Payne County OSU Cooperative Extension Center has excellent resources that are available. They can be contacted online. Their website is oces.okstate.edu/Payne, and that's Payne. That's the name of our county here. Yeah. But that's where you can find the recommendations on how often to water. It will also depend on the grass that you've got, because some like the hot and some like the wet. And
yeah, but I think a lot of people, in other communities, there are a lot of restrictions on watering your lawns, when you can water, what side of the street you're on.
What time of day.
Yeah, there's lots of things like that. So just to kind of reiterate that, so Stillwater does not have any restrictions.
We do not have any restrictions at this time.
Yeah.
It has been a long time since we have had any water usage restrictions. And usually that's in very serious times of drought.
Right.
When we are having to save the water that's available for the drinking water.
Absolutely. All right. Well, another great episode. Thank you, Paula.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for listening to FYI Stillwater. If you like this episode, help us out and give us a like or share us with your friends.
Stay tuned for our next podcast.
If you have a question for City Hall, email news@stillwater.org, and in the next podcast, we'll answer a few of them. FYI Stillwater is available on our website at stillwater.org, Spotify, and just about anywhere else you enjoy your podcast.